I hear a lot of people talking about money, and they're talking about flow, and they're talking about having cash flow and manifesting money and being the genius that you are. But there's a really, really big gap that I'm noticing that many people who are teaching these methods and strategies are really missing. And the gap there is really just honing in on your total energy field. And that means aligning. And what does aligning mean? Aligning means that you are fully anchoring in the light consciousness, your higher self or your Godhead, whatever label feels better to you. But it's technically the light consciousness, your soul essence that you are anchoring into your body. And when you align yourself, when you are able to fully open your heart, because you can't just align yourself without having an open heart. I mean, you can do all the visualizations and you can, ground your feet into the earth, and you can, get more light from the sun and whatever it is. But if your heart is not open, if you are not fully feeling unconditional love for yourself and for others around you and for your situation and for everything that you are experiencing, then you are not aligned. It does not matter how connected you are to your Godhead. It does not matter how much light you have anchored in. Unconditional love, which, by the way, is another life lesson, is one of the hardest. I know I said that about control, but it is one of the hardest things to do and that's why it's a major universal life lesson. Because mainly when you are experiencing unconditional love, that means you have fully surrendered and let go of control. You have a different perspective on how you want to show up. You have a different perspective to the emotions that you're experiencing at the moment. You have a different perspective and awareness to the words that you are using on a daily basis to describe what you're experiencing. You have awareness and a full consciousness of what you are doing on a daily basis, what actions you're taking on a daily basis that feel good to you and only to you, and you have no resentment or regret because of what other people are saying that you should do versus what your heart desires to do. And it is a major process. It's a process that's what this life is all about, That's what our lifetimes have been about. It's been about, bringing awareness to what we're experiencing and not attaching to emotions and not attaching ourselves to these experiences that we're having. And it gets really difficult because we were trained to be in the matrix. And the matrix is basically duality. We were trained to follow through with our mind, our mental body, and our emotions with our emotional body. We have been programmed to just react with emotions and to process our thoughts in a way of how it creates a story that's a constant thing. So, for example, when you're feeling, a little bit drained, instead of coming out and saying, oh, my life is so hard and I'm feeling so drained and I'm so tired, the different perspective, because you know that you are a light consciousness in a human body having an experience in the 3D realm, your words will change. Your words are going to be more like, wow, I am experiencing exhaustion right now. So I'm just going to relax and allow this feeling to go through and allow myself to have this little time to rest, and I'll feel better afterwards. You just like completely change your story. You completely change the way you look at it. And honestly, from my experience, I've seen how words, because words, everything is vibration. Words really do change the vibration of your story. The thoughts that you put in your head with the words change the vibration of your story. And how this pops up is because we've been trained to be so entangled in this web of thoughts, which is what causes so much mind chatter, and logic, which is more of the masculine, because that's what we've been always programmed to be in, the do mode and the action taking mode, right? But now we're moving into a space where we're slowing down. The other day, when I was driving to this ayahuasca ceremony, I actually got pulled over. And, I have been very conscious of the way I drive, and I have gotten many, many speeding tickets in the past because I'm always on the go, rush, gotta do things. And when I got a ticket, and I realized before the police stopped me, I realized that I was going too fast, and I stopped myself very quickly without even realizing the police was pulled over on the side. It was an undercover cop. But I realized, wow, after that experience, I thought, wow, what is the message here? And all of a sudden, my higher self, I heard the voice speak to me very loud and clear saying, it's a lesson to slow down. And as I processed that, I realized that a lot of the experiences that I have been having lately have been about slowing down. And it's like making these really like simple, small mistakes that if I would have slowed down, I would have caught the mistakes and not have made them, which it's fine to make mistakes, but this is just an example. It's just lessons for us to pick at and see where can I, what is this showing me? What am I projecting from these mistakes? And you're basically allowing yourself to have a different perspective of where you can change your perspective and bring more awareness to what you're doing on a daily basis. Trust me, when your life comes to the point where you are trying your best to manifest things and you don't understand why you're manifesting the things that you don't want versus what you do want, and you are constantly in the state of fatigue and, sometimes experiencing lower vibrational frequencies like anger, rage, fear, shame more often than you would have hoped. It's just a way for you to really hone in on what is going on and how you can change your perspective and how you can change your words and how you can really look at things in such a different way and incorporate the way you look at things in your story. And that's something actually I had or have been teaching in the Goddess Unleashed game. That's the reason why I created in the very beginning. I remember when I first got the hit of what I was creating, I thought, wow, the first thing was, let's change your story, because this is what the game does. And this is what it's all about. To unleash the goddess within you, you are basically changing your story so that the goddess can really be the one running the show. Not the victim, not the warrior that's trying to fight, It's the goddess that has already won the fight and that has already unraveled through whatever experiences and has just been the one to be present. So going back to the heart, unconditional love is one of the major life lessons. And like I mentioned before, there are 7 major life lessons. And as you let go of judgment and as you let go of control, which means basically letting go of what your circumstances should be, as you let go of the detachments of whatever it is that you're desiring or creating, you start to have more of a flow. You start to have more of a magnetic energy because you're not blocking it with the limitations of your mind. And when you allow these limitations to fall off, and when you let go of detachments, you are not in the space of worry of what's going to happen, because there's a full-on trust and knowing that whatever it is that you had set out and desired, you are going to create. And when you are present in the moment and allowing the goddess to speak to you, your Godhead, to speak to you and to steer you in the direction that you're supposed to be going, then you start to feel the gratitude of life. You start to feel the gratitude that you have towards the synchronicities. You start to feel the love towards what is happening because it's feeling lighter. It's not so much hustle. And then as you feel more gratitude and you are being more present and asking your goddess within what it is that you need for the day, and you actually honor it, that's taking care of yourself. That's respecting yourself. Listening to your body, to what you need versus what you need to do, what your body needs at that moment. So if it's a massage, if it's to sleep and you have so much work to do and you honor your body by taking that rest, you're going to have more results because you honored your body and rested versus what you would have done by not honoring your body and just going and doing whatever it is that you were to do on your to-do list just to get it done. And what happens to me is that you may find that you have to go back another time when you're in a better space to redo some of this stuff. So you just wasted more time. So when you start getting more into the self-care and the gratitude and the love for your circumstances, you start to love your life and yourself more. And then unconditional love starts to unfold. It's such a magical experience because it's not only about acceptance. And many people talk about you have to accept your circumstances. You have to accept the things that are coming into your life. And someone actually told me that after the ayahuasca experience that I had. And I processed that for a little bit and I thought, acceptance, I have to accept. I think there's more to that than just acceptance, because accepting means that you're looking at it in the same perspective. You're just accepting the fact that whatever happens, happens. You're still in victim mentality where, oh, well, this is happening to me, blah, blah. It's not about acceptance. It's about love. It's about loving whatever is happening. Because now, when you look at it in the lens of love, you're looking at it with the idea that you appreciate the fact that this is happening. Versus acceptance That's a different frequency. That's a different vibration. It's not at a higher vibration. And it's not at the frequency that you want to be vibrating at. It doesn't bring out love. So many times when you hear people talking about acceptance, remember that it's not acceptance, it's love. Remember that anytime you experience a certain emotion, feel it and love it, even if it's the hardest thing to do, even if you've really disliked something about your body, for example, or about somebody that you're around. Remember, when there's something that you dislike about somebody and there's a bit of judgment there, as I mentioned in my other video, there's judgment because of something that is projecting into the world that you need to see for yourself. What are you judging from within, right? And then when you look at that and you realize what it is that you're judging about that person that you found within yourself that you are judging or disliking, turn it around and use the vibration of love. When you even change the words, even if it's just for the moment, even if it's just at that time that you're experiencing that dislike, or when you realize what it is, just use the word love. I love it. I have X, Y, and Z, and I love it. I am experiencing X, Y, and Z, and I love it. Whatever it is that you're in that moment, I love it. And say it with conviction. Say it with conviction, with the tone of truth, because the words that you use are powerful. Your tone that you use with the words 10x's the powerful feeling that you get. And it changes the way your ego shows up. It changes the way your body feels towards it. And you start to create different neural pathways in your brain to accept and love and see it in a different way. And while it does take a little bit more time, the more you do it, the more you're consistent with changing the vibration of the thought process and changing it with conviction, you really, really start to fall into the unconditional love for yourself and for everything that you are experiencing. And that changes the perspective, that changes your alignment, that enhances your energy field, and really changes your magnetism towards whatever it is that you're desiring. So when people talk about alignment, they're talking about getting your energy in alignment. But what they're missing is the love factor. It's all about vibrating higher. It's all about mastering your energy. And while I talk about these lessons are so, so important to recognize. And there are ways to recognize them. There's an emotional inventory sheet that I have that actually outlines all the life events that could have or did or whatever happened. And when you identify what has happened to you in the past, you already can identify with what lessons you're dealing with. And then once you identify what lessons you're dealing with, those same types of situations that will come up, which if you did not learn the lesson yet and are still learning them, once they come up, you'll be able to identify which category it belongs to and how you can change that, how you can rotate out of that situation, change your perspective, and learn to actually love whatever it is, and then have the alignment that you're looking for. So I hope this video was somewhat powerful enough for you to consider how you are managing your experiences and how you are looking at your experiences, and try to identify what experiences and how your words are playing out in your daily experiences. So if, like usual, if you're looking for anything in particular that you want me to talk about, I would love to hear your comments and get on to speak about them. And in the meantime, thank you for listening, and I'll see you soon. Bye.